I think Arsenal have had one of the most wildest starts of the season from a red card. A red card, playing pretty much two whole halves of football with 10 men. Saka potentially injured, Martin Odegaard injured, Trossard last minute winner when it looked like they might drop points to Leicester. This new, I can't even say his name, Nwaneri kid coming through, looking like an absolute baller, could flourish maybe in the absence of Odegaard. And Arsenal themselves have won 21 of their 30 games in all competitions 2024, a 70% win percentage, which is their joint best in a calendar year since 1932, showing how good Arsenal have been for a while. And because of Arsenal being good, teams do fear Arsenal. Teams do feel a bitterness towards Arsenal. A team, that was like Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool. They're the three biggest teams in England. They're the three biggest teams with the biggest fan bases in England. They're the three super teams in England, which, a lot of the fan bases revolve around. And now Arsenal were down for so long. And now Arsenal are coming back. People don't like that. There's a bitterness towards that. And you can see it this season with some of the things said about Arsenal, the dark arts. I read a report from The Athletic. Now, The Athletic is one of the most credible outlets of information out there. And they wrote a piece about how they injured Thomas Partey and how Arsenal were using the dark arts. And it's really interesting to see how the sort of perception of Arsenal in the media has changed from, Arsenal are playing well under Arteta to, Arsenal and the dark arts, Arsenal parking the bus. There's always a reason to find a bit of negativity about Arsenal. But the truth really about Arsenal is Arsenal are good now. And we're going to talk about Arsenal this season because Arsenal have been very good this season, despite, I think, moments being overshadowed by VAR and red cards and dark arts and media talks and injuries. Arsenal have been very good this season. They are in a title race again. This is going to be the third season in a row they're going into a title race. And this season, I believe they could actually win it with Rodri's injury. I think Slot is doing unbelievable, but Liverpool didn't have the chance to win it. Will Liverpool drop off? This is the year that I think, this is really Arsenal's year to win it, in my opinion. And I think people are fearful of that. And I think the media narrative around Arsenal, because they're serious, because they're good again, has massively changed. I remember this report from The Athletic about, Rodri being injured and Thomas Partey followed Havertz's lead by clattering Rodri off the ball. Thomas Partey wasn't even thinking of Rodri. There's no way, and I'm saying this as a Manchester United fan, I do not like Arsenal and I do not want Arsenal to win the league. But let's be honest, anyone that watched the game knows that Rodri's injury was just, a mistake. There was no intention from Arsenal to injure Rodri. There was no intention whatsoever. He got a bad injury. Thomas Partey was not looking to injure him at all. But there's been this narrative of Arsenal, they're the worst team, they park the bus, they injure players, they're using their dark arts. Yes, Arsenal wasted time versus Manchester City, but how many times have we seen Manchester City waste times when they're in a title race? All the time. The Arsenal were not doing anything that City haven't done before. And this narrative towards Arsenal was, from Bernardo Silva after the match, Liverpool have already won the Premier League title and Arsenal haven't. Liverpool won a Champions League and Arsenal haven't. This is why the rivalry's been different. Also, let me add that Liverpool always face us with a clear intention of winning the game. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a Man United fan. The City-Liverpool rivalry is the worst thing ever when Man United crap and one of your two biggest rivals are going to win the league. But yeah, watching Liverpool City was always more interesting games because Klopp really went for it. Whereas I think Arteta has a more sort of defensive viewpoint. But Arsenal parked the bus because they had 10 men and they had the lead. Why wouldn't they take the bus? And these comments from Bernardo Silva, for me, I think come out of their now concern about Arsenal. Because they used to praise Arsenal. When City were beating Arsenal, they'd be praising Arsenal when they won or lost. They'd be praising Arsenal, whether they beat them, whether they drew to them, whether they lost them. They'd be praising Arsenal. But now Arsenal are there with Manchester City and a real problem to Manchester City. The perception from Manchester City towards Arsenal, you can see almost there is a bit of fear there. It's not a proper rivalry. They're looking to downplay them at any time. I remember when the draw at the Etihad, Rodri said, right at the end of the season when City had just won the title, he goes back to the Arsenal game and said, when they came here, they didn't want to beat us. They were looking for a draw. Rodri brings that up when Man City win the league. He starts talking about Arsenal and how they came for a draw. Arsenal coming to the Etihad and shutting them out did rattle Man City. But I don't blame Arsenal for going to the Etihad and parking the bus. If you're 2-1 up with 10 men and Man City haven't lost at the Etihad for 2 whole years and Manchester City have an unbelievable record at the Etihad, of course you're going to park the bus. I remember Tottenham went down to 10 or 9 men versus Chelsea and they were playing unbelievable football, and Chelsea, they played this high line and Chelsea battered them. You know, Erling Haaland, yeah? Other than the game this year, last season Erling Haaland didn't get a sniff against Arsenal's defence. So Arsenal know that them defending versus City works. And if you've got a lead to defend, if you're in a tight race, you're gonna park the bus. So Erling Haaland's accumulated 0xG against Arsenal in the past. So of course they did that. But I feel like, and this will happen if Man United get back to the top, but I feel like because Arsenal are good, there's definitely been a change in the media narrative towards them. I remember when they beat Liverpool in February of last year, and they got slated for celebrating. You know, Gary Neville said, I think there's a bit of immaturity in Arsenal's celebrations. Mikel Arteta, is achieving the maximum this season. I think he can't achieve any more, is what Gary Neville said. Now, I think he can achieve more. I think Mikel Arteta can win the league this year with Arsenal. But Arsenal were, you know, getting in trouble for celebrating. Why are you celebrating a win versus Liverpool? Liverpool are top of the league. Arsenal won that game to close the gap in the title race. This could be a crucial win if Arsenal did win the title last season. Why can't they celebrate being a top of the league side? Why can't they celebrate? Why can they not park the bus when they're 2-1 up at the Etihad with 10 men? Why, are Liverpool better because they had a better rivalry of you? Because for me, there's definitely this sort of element of people not liking that Arsenal are good anymore. Because if you go back to what used to be said by Man City about Arsenal, Pep used to say, on City start of the season, we cannot forget one thing, ladies and gentlemen, there's one team that's been better than us, and the reality is Arsenal have been better than us. We're not top of the league because Arsenal have been better. Pep has said for consistency, Arsenal have shown this season one game out of the FA Cup, out of the Europa League, with one game a week, you can have an incredible focus and prepare. I have a feeling they won't drop many points. Very praising of Arsenal. They used to praise Arsenal, but this last year, it's gone from City praising Arsenal to, they're not as good as Liverpool. They're dark arts. And that is because Arsenal are good. So let's talk about Arsenal. Let's actually talk about why Arsenal are good. Because I think at the end of the day, Man United, Arsenal and Liverpool, they're the 3 teams that are going to get done the most by the media because they're the biggest clubs. They will get the most interactions. That is the truth about it. If you support Arsenal, you support Liverpool, you support Man United, you're going to get the most shite in the media. Wrote about you. Because people don't like us. That is the fact about it. Now, let's talk about Arsenal starts the season because it's sort of been overshadowed by all this controversy, but Arsenal have been good. 2-0 win versus Wolves, first day of the season, they got the job done. Villa weren't at their best, but they dropped points to Villa in both games last season. Villa have had an unbelievable start to the season. They've got that win versus Villa away from home to cement those crucial 3 points. Brighton, they would have probably beaten them. Brighton have again had a very good start to the season, but there was that controversial Declan Rice red card, which in my opinion was a silly red card, to be fair to Arsenal. Tottenham were up for it. Tottenham, away, difficult game. Arsenal did the 1-0 win and got the job done. Atalanta, 0-0. They beat Liverpool 3-0 the season before. They know how to cause trouble. Manchester City 2-2. Had they not lost Trossard, they probably could have walked away 3 points. Then they go and batter Bolton 5-1. And nearly a fully rotated squad, bar Saka and Rice. And Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly were some real standouts in that game. Leicester, 2-0 down. They're dropping points now. 2-0 down. Yes, the Leicester keeper was playing like the best goalkeeper in the world. But Arsenal showed, we could go 2-0 down or we can win. And they won 4-2. PSG, difficult team. Unbelievable start to the season. Barcola on fire. Did not have a sniff. It was men against boys versus PSG. The physical levels of Arsenal compared to PSG was different. Southampton, 1-0 down, winning 3-1. Not even at their best, but making it look easy. I've got Bournemouth. That's a difficult game, believe it or not. Liverpool, Newcastle. Newcastle have been a difficult game for Arsenal in the past. There's a lot of big games coming up. And if we look at the Premier League here, 17 for Arsenal, 17 to City, 18 for Liverpool. It's the same title race again, which is my worst nightmare, especially when Man United are in 14th. But they're up there with the big boys because this is the part when you realise that, Arsenal being in a title race wasn't a one-season fluke. Arteta has something. They have consistency. They're established now. This defensive pairing is unbelievable. Unbelievable what they've done with Haaland in the past. We know about Arsenal's defence. We know about how good Arsenal's defence has been. And if we look at, Gabriel, There's a lot of focus on Gabriel Magalhaes' influence from defensive set pieces, rightly so, but he often goes unnoticed defensively. Saliba's elite, and I think we can all agree he's a better player, but Gabriel Magalhaes is better in the air. He provides balance and partnership. I think Saliba's an unbelievable player. I think Saliba is better on the eye, he looks better on the ball, he's more aesthetically pleasing. But there's no doubt in my mind that Gabriel is more underrated than Saliba. He's on Saliba's level. Saliba gets all the praise. Saliba gets all the plaudits. But Gabriel has been as good as Saliba. He's not made a mistake this season. He's really crucial in set pieces. He brings balance. He brings the right level of aggressiveness. He brings the box defending. And he's also a lot better on the ball than he gets credit for. And I think because Saliba looks better on the eye, people go to the conclusion that Saliba's the best one and Gabriel's the partner. But there's a reason Gabriel hasn't been dropped. You know, Calafiori can play left centre-back. Ben White could come and play left centre-back. There's a reason Gabriel has not been dropped, because he's becoming Mr. Underrated. And he was playing for Brazil, and I didn't watch the game, but I was seeing a lot of praise from Brazil. This is a Brazil account. Gabriel Magalhaes, colossal today. Attacked the ball so well, aggressive, front foot, passing between the lines, dominant in the air, physical presence. Gabriel Magalhaes' forward passing and thinking has been absolutely great. And there's, the people are watching Gabriel Magalhaes for Brazil, and the Brazilians are loving it, because players like Vini Jr. are fantastic for Real Madrid. They go to Brazil. Foden, fantastic for Man City, goes for England. He's doing it in international duty. And one thing I've noticed about Arsenal this season is they were unbelievable last season. They were in the title race. The defensive record was insane, but the biggest weakness was that left-hand side. Martinelli was nowhere near good enough last season, but maybe it's confidence. Maybe it's a little bit of Calafiori with Merino set to come in. But I feel that Martinelli's already got better with Calafiori being there, a natural left footer in build-up. I'm seeing improvements in Martinelli. I'm seeing improvements on Arsenal's left-hand side. The way Calafiori moves when he's not on the ball to receive it, to play the ball, he can carry the ball, can move it quick. The build-up on the left-hand side, the moving the ball quick, and Martinelli's getting in better areas. Arsenal's left-hand side's improving, and it's only going to get better with Mikel Merino, a dual-winning monster. 2 6'2" dual-winning monsters going on that left-hand side that are good on the ball, that can break the lines. The physical and technical traits, which is the most sought-after profile in football, and I did a video on that. And I saw Adam Key say this: despite having 50 minutes of football, Arsenal's Mikel Merino's qualities are clear. He's incredibly strong in duels, wins his tackles, but when he gets the ball, he turns smoothly and wants to play forward. Adventurous attacking, proper Spaniard is what Adam Key said on Merino, and I couldn't agree more. He's going to be a really good signing for Arsenal. I can see he's going to get the ball to Martinelli in really good areas. Jurrien Timber's been one of the most impressive players this season. If you know me, I'm a massive fan of him. I wanted Manchester United to sign him. But that PSG game did not give Barcola a sniff. Barcola was going into that game with 12 goal contributions in the last 12 games, or 11 goal contributions in the last 11 games, in brilliant form. And Jurrien Timber has been brilliant in every game for Arsenal. He's played left back, he's played right back, he's inverted, he's overlapped, he can build out from the back. He was a natural centre back. But I do think a Timber, Saka, Nwaneri right-hand side, and Odegaard's absence could be interesting to see with a Merino, Calafiori, Martinelli left-hand side, bringing those triangles, the overlaps, the underlaps. It could work so well at Arsenal. Because when I look at Arsenal this season, I think a lot of it has been media talk, and Arsenal are using the dark arts this season, and Arsenal have done this season, and Arsenal have done that this season. Arsenal are 1 point off top of the league. Arsenal have had a few setbacks. There's times where I don't think Arsenal have been at their very best, but let's not lie, Arsenal have been good. I've watched Arsenal, and they've been really good this season, and they will take that title race to the end. 100% are taking that title race to the end, because there's no doubt in my mind that I think this is Arsenal's best chance of winning the title. Arsenal fans, let me know your thoughts down below. Please do hit the like button. Of course, subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching. Bye.